first Sunday drive. Thank you for showing up. So, what are Sunday drives? If you've already read my description, this is just going to be something that you already know. But when I was a kid, my dad worked away from where we lived, and he worked 7-day rotating shifts. So on day shift, he'd work 7 days, he'd have a day off. On swing shifts, he'd work 7 days and have a day off. And then he worked 7 days on graveyard and would have 4 days off. So on his 4-day weekends, he would come home. He worked in the valley, and we lived in Central Oregon at the time. And he would come home, and he'd want to stay home, 1 or 2 of the days. But then, by then, he'd get restless, and he'd want to go out and go do something. And back then, when we had a small farm, or a small animal farm, we didn't have a lot of money. And so one of the things that we did for entertainment was to take what Dad called Sunday drives. Now, Sunday drives didn't always happen on a Sunday. It just really depended on when he had his 4-day weekends. And he would just pick one of those days, and he'd put the whole family in the car, and we'd just take off and go somewhere. Sometimes he had a destination in mind, and sometimes we just drove, and we'd turn off on a road that we'd never been on before, or we'd take up the back roads to a destination place on a road that we've never been on before. And, those rides, I have a lot of memories of those. I have a lot of memories of the times when we took trips across the United States. Some of you already know a little bit about my dad being from Florida and my mom being from Oregon. My dad was in the service. He was in the Air Force, and he was what was called an AP at the time. And it's the same thing as an MP, but it was in the Air Force. When he enlisted in the Air Force, he was stationed in Bermuda. And while he was there, he got transferred. And he was transferred to Mount Hebo Air Force Base. And my mom and dad met at I think it was some kind of a dance for the military personnel. Anyway, so that's just a little bit of a basic understanding where some of these stories are coming from. So we've made many trips back and forth across the United States because, the majority of the time that I've been alive, we've lived here in Oregon. I was born in Oregon. I was born in Tillamook, Oregon, on the coast. And Mount Hebo is in the Coast Range, so it's really close to the coastal shores. My mom was living in Dallas at the time, and that's a little bit closer in towards the valley, but she had relatives that lived out in the Grand Ronde area, and she had an older cousin that she did a lot of things with, and so it was her older cousin that took her along to this dance when they met. talking about different things that I remember on road trips that we went on. And yeah, I think it'll be fun sharing with my family and friends what I remember about those trips, and and things that I saw and things that inspired me. And yeah, I just felt like this community has really given me a lot. They've inspired me to do this, and basically I'm not in it for YouTube dollars or anything like that. It would be nice to get enough subscribers where I can at least get a community page so that I can share the channels that I've found that inspire me the most. And maybe I'll give a little bit of a critic opinion on some of them. And yeah, just mostly it's just going to be showing you where we're going so that you can just go along for the ride and see what we can see. And there'll be other stuff along the way. We have some trips and stuff that are coming up. And one thing about living in Oregon and the diverse areas that Oregon has allows me to take some really pretty pictures. And so I hope to share some of those pictures with you as well and let you know where they are, because a lot of them are off the beaten path, and a lot of people that are traveling in Oregon, they're here for the main attractions and they don't get off the main roads and go and see some of this other stuff. They have a lack of time or maybe a lack of interest. They don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But, it's okay, because I'll share here and people can live vicariously for these little places that, they decided wasn't something that they needed to see. And then plus there's going to be other things, we might go down a road and go, what on earth? So, yeah, so I'm just basically going to take you along for the ride. Also, in a couple of months, I should be having 2 baby pugs. I have to wait. We got a call from the breeder last week, and hopefully the mama got pregnant this time. And I think it takes about 60 some odd days that they're pregnant, and then it's going to be like at least 9 to 10 weeks before we're able to take them home afterwards. And they don't live close to us. They live clear over in a little place called, it's a little place over in Eastern Oregon. And we went and visited them this last summer, and it was really fun getting to meet the dogs. And to meet the mom and the dad. They're a lot more energetic than the pugs that I've been used to. Most pugs that I've known growing up and have had myself, I rescued 3 of them. They've been kind of lazy. They like to sleep a lot. And that was okay, this here, and next time I'll come up with a different topic to talk about. Thank you so much, and love to all my friends and family. Bye-bye.